Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're doing, well, quite a lot of stuff. It's first thing in the morning, well, 20 past 10, but I'm going out on a bit of a day trip with Alex. We're going to be visiting various places, but before I do anything, I've got to make a coffee because I only just got up and I need a coffee. So I've got some nice clothes on today, so I've got my little apron on just to protect them, and let's get this coffee made. Oh yes, yes, just yes. Now, before I go and meet Alex, I made him a little prezi yesterday. It's like a little celebration of Elvis, his new van. So, made him a little mug, and there's a picture of Alex and Noah stood by Elvis, and then on the back we've got Elvis the eldest. So I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. So I shall, as long as I remember to take it with me, I shall give it to him later today. It's actually not a bad day. We've got some mostly blue sky. There's some little white cumulus clouds as well. So I was expecting rain today. So we were sort of planning the day to be, you know, sort of where we don't wander too far from the van. And we've got the opportunity to sit in the vans and sit around and sort of drink coffee and everything. I've also got a few bits that I can reheat for food, which does mean I have to take my big battery with me, but that's okay. I think I'm going to do that, and then we should have a good day out. Lots of nice food, and what's not to like?
Yeah, well, that's where the sat-nav's trying to take me. Right. But it's fun and games.
Okay, good luck with it. I'll see you there.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
See you later. Bye. Right then, we've just arrived, and no sign of Alex yet, but we are at the great Coxwell barn, which we'll go and have a look at shortly. I'm just going to go to the garage and get some bottles of water, put them in the fridge because it's quite warm. Now, there's not a huge amount of parking, so what I was thinking, I could probably fit into the spaces further up. So if Alex can't get in, I'll move Guinevere and move her to one of the smaller spaces, and then he'll be able to fit in here. So that's the thinking at the moment. I'm not sure he's going to get in that space up ahead there because it's a little on the small side. Always carry at least a little bit of water in the van. Had to fill up my AdBlue tank earlier. I bought a huge 10-litre tank. Actually, it's going that way. And I thought I'd only need half of it to top everything up. And in the end, I used the entire 10 litres. It took the whole bottle. It's like this huge jerry can of it. Oh, I thought I heard a vehicle. I did bring the big battery, so we can use the microwave for. Got us each a cheeseburger and a hamburger and a couple of McFlurries. Is that wrong of me? It's a bit naughty, but life's too short to be too strict with the old diet. There's a balance to be struck. So we've definitely picked a good day for it. Look at that, that's a beautiful sight. So I'll tell you all about the barn when we go and have a look around it. But it's nice that it's like the middle of the summer holidays now, and all the kids are off, and we have specifically been trying to find places that aren't going to be heaving with tourists. And I think we've struck gold here. Looks like there's just a couple of people. There's a couple of cars there, so I'm assuming there are a couple of people, but not too many at all. I can just see one person over there. But there's also a 12th century church just down the road, so I've got a feeling we're going to have a little look down there as well. So that could all be good. Now, whether Alex leaves his van here and we go to the 12th century church in Guinevere just to save on the parking space, I don't know. I don't know what the arrangement is for parking there, whether we can fit in or not. So we'll cross that bridge a bit later on. But this is so nice. It's so peaceful here. Very, very quiet. Alex has arrived. He managed to get parked as well. That's good.
Not bad.
I'll let this man make his phone call.
Oh yes.
He's on the phone. One of the downfalls when you run your own business is quite often you have to be on call when you're trying to have a little break. But yeah, that's the one thing that always happens when we're doing our little day trips. He'll always be on the phone. He's like he's out of the office, but he's still in. So never mind. It is what it is. It is what it has to be. But there we go. So yeah, the Great Coxwell Blight. It's a very pretty barn. It's a very lovely piece of architecture, and I have done more than one video here before, and I cannot remember the precise details, but maybe I should have a quick look at my old video so then I can let you know what I knew back then. So before we start off, we thought we'd just sit down and have a quick little coffee, and that grin is still on Alex's face.
A little bit, you know.
So yes, we were just chatting about future endeavours, and it's going to be a lot easier now you've got Elvis. So I've just given Alex his little gift.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Yeah,
that's great, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
it's all right.
Right, cheers.
Little housewarming prezi.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We need to get out.
This is we're gonna do this joke to death, aren't we?
Oh yes.
Oh dear. The simplest things. Does Noel Edmonds wear tank tops then?
He did years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I
We're just discussing Noel Edmonds. Yeah.
well, I thought it's too hot for a jumper, but then I'm too podgy to wear white. So if I'm just wearing white shirt,
Stripes help, you
like,
know.
the stripes help. Yes, maybe maybe I'll get a stripy
He
shirt.
didn't think that through, did he?
Yeah.
Right.
So we thought we'd have a look. Now this is an 800-year-old. Was it a tithe barn?
I think so.
It's part of a rectory which didn't have monks here, but it was run by lay people. So, it's National Trust. Oh, admissions that we're covered because we're National Trust members.
Yes.
So we've got an extra £1.50 out of our National Trust membership.
I don't think we.
But I tell you what, it's so cool in here.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's like its own air conditioning, which is really interesting because if this was a tithe barn, then they would have stored grain and wheat and barley and all sorts of things here, and the coolness would have kept them like from going off.
Yeah.
Got pigeons everywhere, but it's so quiet here.
I do think though.
I think a fox has had something here.
Ah,
Lots of feathers. Sorry, interrupting.
I think there is something of pure mischief that we do need to do. I give you that. May I invite you just to film?
Someone's seen our Honest Guys video of the Great Coxwell Barn. And there's a little scene in it. This is going to have to be a tradition every time we come here now, isn't it? What are you like?
It's like this spent youth watching John Cleese.
Yeah, the man from the Ministry of Funny Walks. So
You don't want to do it as well, then?
I'm good, thanks.
You're good,
I'm good. Yes. Yeah, I've got my grown-up clothes on today.
Oh,
So.
fair enough.
Yeah, got my big boy pants on. So, gonna have some wind noise on the microphone now. It's interesting. So these, I'm guessing, are purely for
Ventilation.
drying
breathing,
out. Yeah, for if if it's grains and stuff being stored there, they need the airflow to keep things dry. They thought of everything, these lot, didn't they? And 800 years ago was that the Dark Ages?
Medieval times.
Medieval times. I'm not actually sure when the medieval period was. I'll put a thing here when medieval times were. But it's very nice here, very peaceful. There's a big lake thing as well over there.
Welcome to the Great Coxwell Barn. Built over 700 years ago, in the 13th century, this barn has withstood the test of time and witnessed generations of people and events. Step inside and you'll be captivated by its grandeur. The Great Coxwell Barn served as a crucial storage space for crops like wheat and barley, supporting the local community during medieval times. The impressive timber beams were meticulously crafted to be joined without any nails, showcasing the advanced skills and artistry of the craftsmen who built it. The Great Coxwell Barn stands as one of the largest surviving medieval barns in England, stretching over 150 feet in length. The barn holds immense historical significance. It was a hub of community gatherings, celebrations, and a testament to the hard work and perseverance of our ancestors. The Great Coxwell Barn is a remarkable treasure that stands as a timeless monument, reminding us of the ingenuity and resilience of those who came before us.
But it is very impressive, and I'm not sure whether the camera is going to bring this across, but it's incredibly tall. I would estimate, just trying to think, the top of my house would come to that first beam there, and then there's another whole house worth plus a bit more going right up to the apex there. So it's very impressive. Quite why they built it this tall, I don't know. Because it seems like an awful lot of unused space up there. So I'm not sure. There's obviously a reason for it, unless it's just a vanity thing. I don't know. I know it was described by somebody famous. I'm sure I'll bring this up in the voiceover. That described it as one of the, the most eloquent pieces of architecture around, and you can certainly see why. But it's so nice and cool in here. It's very warm outside, and it's just nice to be here. So if you happen to be in this area, this is we're just outside of Farringdon in Oxfordshire. This place is definitely worth a visit, definitely worth a look. I've got a ladybird, and this is a traditional British ladybird, a ladybug. quite rare these days. We've all of our British ladybirds are getting taken over by the harlequin ladybird that's come over from somewhere. So our indigenous species is a little bit endangered, as far as I'm aware. So it's nice to see one. Reminds me of a quote I once heard about badgers and the difference between American badgers and British badgers. The American badger, somebody commented that it looks like it'll put a shiv over your head and mug you to fund its meth habit, whereas the British badger will invite you in for tea and biscuits. So there we go, that's the great Coxwell Barn. We've got the place to ourselves again, so that was nice. So not quite sure, bite to eat, quick look at the church, what do you fancy?
I think some food is in order, don't you?
Food, okay.
Food.
We'll do food.
You know, I'm so glad that I started doing this, you know, oh, sorry.
Double cheeseburger.
Well, you do it first.
Just doing Alex's one as well. Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say that I'm so glad that I started this whole thing, this whole journey with camping and what have you, and make time my own and what have you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. 50 seconds for a double cheeseburger. That's the optimum time.
Right, fair enough.
I've worked it out. There is one advantage to having a fridge in your vehicle with a freezer compartment. We're sat in the middle of nowhere in Oxfordshire, miles and miles away from the nearest fast food zone, and we're eating McFlurries. Smarties McFlurries, what's not to like? I've just spotted the rain on the windshield. It's actually raining, so I may have to shut the door for a minute and shut the roof fence as well. Right then, so we're fed and watered and even had dessert. Now, we're going to pop down the road to what I believe is a 12th century church. And let's just get my shoe on. And we've decided that we're going to leave Elvis here because there may be quite restrictive parking down there. We're not sure. So it makes sense that we just both jump into Guinevere, and it's literally less than a mile down the road there. And I've got my keys, got the phone. Yeah, all good to go. Alex has just gone to get his phone and lock up Elvis, and I've got to go turn round somewhere. I might be able to turn round here actually, we'll see. Right, see you in a moment. Thank you. So we found this tiny little road. There's the vicarage. We're assuming this is, it says it's pointed towards the church, so we're going to assume, good grief. This is, there it is, yeah. There's the tiniest little car park.
I would turn around what, you know, you're not...
Yeah.
Ah, will you?
I think so. Might be a 48-point turn, but...
You wouldn't do this in Elvis.
I wouldn't. Yeah, good. Actually, it was a good call, wasn't it? I wouldn't want to get married here because your guests wouldn't be able to park anywhere. What were these 12th century people thinking?
I know, they just weren't forward planning, were they?
Were they? I'm really glad I've got a reversing camera, I can tell you. As long as we don't tip over, that would be unfortunate. I always get paranoid about leaning the van over too far. There we go. I think we're good. You got enough room to get out?
Oh yeah.
Made it. Fantastic. Right, let's go and have a look. Still on. So we're at a 12th century church. Oh, So this is the Diocese of Oxford Parish Church of St Giles, Great Coxwell, and it's open every day from 10 till 4 and 6. Within this ancient churchyard you will find our Contemplation Garden, set amidst a wildlife habit of flowers, shrubs and trees. The circular grass walk gives you a beautiful view across the Valley of the White Horse, or the Vale of the White Horse. Follow the path and rest a while. So let's make exactly the same video, Alex.
We are. We have been all day.
We have, yes. Nice cobblestone path.
Look the other way or something.
I was interested in graveyards. That just sounds wrong, doesn't it? But I'm interested in looking at the dates and things on the gravestones, although these all look fairly newish. Very sort of typical church of the era, I'm guessing. So 800 years ago. Anybody know what that is? There's a line and then like an arrow going to it. That's got to mean something to somebody. And look at the height of this door. This little doorway. Now the only place I've ever seen this before is in Corfe Castle. If you look at some of the old buildings there, you'll see all of the front doors are like they're for like little people. So I don't know whether that was I've heard it say that that's kind of a sign of like the times of like poor nutrition, and so people didn't grow very tall. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but we've got a nice big graveyard here. It's interesting how all the headstones sort of fall over after a while. In fact, if you look around, there is not a single upright gravestone or headstone, apart from perhaps that one, which I'm assuming is probably more recent than the others. But if we look at some of these older ones, yeah, they're so worn away. There's absolutely nothing left on them. So these would have been made of a well, I'm guessing they're so worn away, I'm thinking sandstone, but I'm sure they would have used something more hardy than sandstone. Looks like they've had an extension built on at some point there. It kind of looks like it was added at a later date. It's interesting, the wall here has been sort of rendered. It hasn't got the stonework like it has here. It's kind of rendered, and then we've got stonework again. So it's a little bit of a hodgepodge. So here's the Contemplation Garden and walk. So here's some more modern, much more up-to-date grave sites here. So quiet. That's really strange. I mean, I can see that's a main A road there, literally a couple of stones throw away. I'd say that was no more than half a mile, and can't hear it at all. This is nice though. It's like a little, well, it is a contemplative garden. I think it's nice to just come to places like this and just switch off for a minute. Just let your thoughts do whatever they want to do without getting involved with them. So I'd love something like this near where I live. We've got nothing like this. It would be nice to live in a little village like this where you can just go out for an afternoon stroll or something and end up somewhere like this and just sit and be for a little while. That would be nice. So I wonder if we can go inside. I haven't seen Alex for a while, so I'm assuming he's already gone in. There he is.
I was just saying, determined that we haven't done the same video,
Yeah.
and then round you come on cue.
Have you been inside?
I have, but there is something that I wanted to do. I'm going to ask Rick to be cameraman. That Monty Python sketch. Come on.
Oh, it's got that smell, that old church smell.
No, it's not blocked off in this. So I wanted to have a look.
Ah, this is the extension piece.
Belfry. Yes, that's the nave.
That was built on afterward, you can see from outside.
Who is this?
Yeah, this was an afterthought.
Oh.
I'll put money on it.
I thought that was a tabernacle where the excess bread is kept,
Oh,
but there is a lock on it, so I'm guessing it is a safe.
right.
But no, I was going
Oh,
to try and see if I can get into the belfry. Oh, I'm a portly fellow, you know.
do I need to call the fire brigade at some
Oh, it's
point?
bricked up.
Oh, is it?
That's me.
That's the second, that is yours, isn't it?
Yep.
That's the second one we've been to where it was blocked off.
Blocked off with the wall.
Mm.
Do you want me to shine yours up there?
Yeah, can do.
So again, this we can't get up here. It has been blocked off. And that's a shame. Oh God.
You right there, Alex?
Yes. Too many cheeseburgers. Oh, it's okay. I am a vicar. It's not a catchphrase that's going to get me into trouble, is it?
But if you look at this building from outside,
Yeah.
it's like they built this bit on afterwards, because you got the tower, then you got this chunk of building which is all rendered,
Yeah.
and then this bit of building it's all stonework,
Oh.
and you can see it's been bolted on.
Yeah.
They tried to keep the ceiling the same. You've got this curve thing going on, but even the timbers look a lot newer than those. So I'm doing this purely from deductive reasoning, not from knowledge. But, although to be honest, I'm not sure why, because once you're down this end, it sort of, you can't see a lot.
Well, this is typical of how early churches would have been laid out. Obviously,
Oh,
this is the communion rail. So, mere non-ordained people would thank you very much.
I see.
Yeah, no, this is the communion rail. So, servers and the priests would come up here and say the mass. The choir would sit there in the nave, and then people would come forward from the congregation and kneel there.
Right.
Very much from when churches kept people in their place and their station, and they understood. You know, if you were a member of the congregation, you did as you were told, and if you were in the choir, you were somehow
The order of things.
Not that I like dressing up for a living or anything. But it's,
You should try LARPing, you might enjoy it. Oh, that's a bit macabre.
yes, I saw that.
That's made of stone or marble. So, I wonder what that's all about. Not seen that in a church before.
No, I have not. But that's like a death roll of honour of all the early incumbents and rectors.
It's in Latin.
There is some Latin there, yes.
They've only got... Oh no, they have got stained glass. So they've got one there. Very colourful. Look at the reds in that.
I know, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
They've got to be modern, surely. Because the old churches, they fade over time, don't they? But that red is absolutely... That's a really mesmerising red. Actually, that's really highly detailed.
You see the little parapets of the French-style castle in the back?
Oh yeah. That's absolutely stunning. You're probably not going to get that on the camera. It's going to be a bit contrasty, but I'll try to adjust the contrast to see whether I can pull out some of the detail. But that is really, really finely detailed. That's got to be modern. That can't be old. Not that detailed. 1927, this one.
There's an original 12th century kneeler here. It was made by one of the ladies of the time. Can you tell?
Yeah. The Concord on it and everything.
The date sort of gives it away.
1969. Well, Concord wasn't around in 1969.
It certainly wasn't around in the 12th century.
Yeah. That we know of.
Well, yes, right.
Comments.
I put Oxfordshire because I can't read, and so I put the wrong column.
I'm going to put nice smell. Very peaceful. There we go. Marvellous. Cool. That door's old.
Yes.
Very, very old. Look at the old hobnails. It's all held together with.
Yes.
I bet that's multi-layered, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Look at end on. And it's
Oh, yeah.
planks.
I think if you'd locked yourself in here, you'd feel safe from up to no gooders, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't be getting out anytime soon.
The size of that lock.
Wow.
Mortise on that.
It's fascinating. It's like, oh, look, you got a moving rivet there when you did that. Oh, it's intentionally made that because it's going to move, hasn't it? That's the little arm.
Yes, so yes.
Yeah. It's funny it's only when you see these things up close and personal, you start to notice things you sort of take for granted. Yet when you actually look at it, you think, well, that's really
carving.
That's fascinating. The fact somebody made this 500 years ago, 600, 800, don't know. And there's always a yew tree in just about every churchyard ever. That's yew, isn't it?
I think so.
They walk, they live forever, and they move along. They sort of expand out. We went to a famous one in Wales last year.
Right.
And this, you could actually stand in the middle of it, and it was all around you. It was just,
really? But
yeah, yew trees just kind of, they're strange. They sort of, they live forever, and they march along the land very, very, very slowly over like decades and decades. Very nice.
It's lovely, isn't it?
This is. I think we should do more old churches.
Yes.
I think I've reached that age where I don't feel out of place looking at old churches. Is that sad or what? There's just something very... I can't explain it. There's like a vibe that you tap into when you come to these places that's very agreeable.
It's without Hales Abbeying the situation. It's just that it was designed to be a spiritual place, wasn't it? The fact that it's so peaceful, and you feel like you're the only person in the world. The only thing to think about is just that connection, whatever it is.
Plus the fact it's been a spiritual place for 800 years.
Yes.
So that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
But it's nice coming to these places on a nice, you know, day where we've got blue sky as well. Kind of adds. If it was pouring with rain right now, I don't think we'd quite get the same vibe.
Well, you'd get a different one, wouldn't you? Because you'd go inside, and you'd hear the rain pitter-pattering, and you'd be dry inside.
Maybe, yeah.
And I think that, yeah, you've got a different feeling to it.
So we're doing that exact same sign-off video again.
Sign off.
So there we go. We've just been chilling out, drinking tango and coffee and putting the world to rights again, haven't we?
Certainly have.
And it's been really enjoyable. So little done. I mean, it's been nice to have a little potter around and take a look at all the places we've been to today. All the places, all two places.
There, yes.
But then just chilled out and kicked back. And we're going to head on home before the rush hour starts, because we're sort of Oxfordshire. It gets really busy sort of soon.
Yeah.
So we're going to head back. But that is it for this video. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Alex, for tagging along. And,
Pleasure. Thank you for your company.
Yes, and we'll no doubt do this again at some other time. So Rick and the Vic will be back. But until then, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.